Hello everyone, welcome back for some more cross-country flight. So I wanted to show you something that I just realized when I was checking out something. Yes, so I did also realize about this, but if I click on details, yeah, this is a different plane than I have flown ever, but yeah. So yeah, we can change the tail number. So November is the tail number for the US. So I'm gonna do something that like is normal. So let's do 9-1 Hotel Yankee. Let's do that, and then it'll literally change the entire airplane. Just let it load, and then I'll show you. Just turn it. November 9-1 Hotel Yankee. Anyway, so yeah, so if you remember last episode, that reminds me. Last episode we went through South Carolina. Woohoo. And now we're going to fly into Georgia. And we're gonna make it to Atlanta today. So I just need to turn down the scenery and all that because we're going through Atlanta, and I don't think I want to see that glitch today. So let's set up everything. So you know that Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta is the busiest airport in the world. It's not the busiest international airport because Atlanta is not an international airport, except for the cargo planes that go to Belgium. But yeah, it's called Hartsfield-Jackson International, and that's the busiest airport in the world. Oh, hold on a second. No, we don't want to start from there. We want to start from South Carolina Anderson Regional, and then we want to fly into yeesh. That would, yeah, so, the busiest international airport in the world is actually in Dubai. Oh no, Hartsfield-Jackson is not the busiest airport. Chicago is. No, Chicago is not the busiest airport. It's probably I don't even want to know. Let's just stop worrying about that. We don't need to change that, just we need to change this. Make sure that, like, it has a realistic altitude that we're gonna use. And all that. There, so. Yeah, Atlanta is huge. Atlanta is huge. I don't even need to look at I don't even need to have been in Atlanta to know how huge it is. Just look at a map. It's huge. It's like the size of New York. The size of DC. So what was the temperature? Well, it's gonna get warmer, so let's go for a whopping 64 degrees. And for the start, we'll do like 64. We'll do 64. And, we'll just keep it there. I know I'm changing my mind a lot, but whatever. So, we change that, everything's changed, and we click fly now. So yeah, we're going to enter the state of Georgia after we went not across. We did go across South Carolina. We went through Charlotte, North Carolina, and then we headed west into, let me just check my phone map here. Yeah, and then we went through Spartansburg and Greenville and past Gastonia. We went through Charlotte downtown, and yeah, we just basically went straight across the northern part of South Carolina. Now there's way more of South Carolina, but you'd have to take Interstate 26 in order to explore more than half of that. So let me finish up all the liquid fluid I have, and for now I'm just gonna have to try to keep that so that I don't get like thirsty in the middle of the be understood. Anyway, let's get it back on topic. So here we are at Anderson Regional in South Carolina. If you remember, the sun was just about to come up in the opposite direction. That's the control tower that we're not even... And we are ready to head out. So let's take a moment to... oh, this thing is just completely different. So let me see if I can figure this out. This thing is just completely different than what we've been flying. It's the same exact plane, but it's just completely different. Like, I don't understand this at all. So it might just get me a quick little getting used to with this plane, but I'll be able to... Don't need to change that, but I don't understand this. Where are the flaps? Let's see. Here it is. Nav lights. We don't need strobe. Well, we might need strobe. I mean, it's going to be Anderson traffic, so it doesn't really matter that we're not going to be running into anyone. So we can just not illegally, but unrealistically turn on those lights. We can head to the... I just don't understand this at all. This cockpit. It's the same exact plane, except that it's got a different design. So it doesn't make really much sense to me, but I'll figure it out. Let's just get out of this place. Oh shoot, we need to taxi somewhere. Well, we don't really need to. Shoot. We set the winds for 344, so we should take off from 35. Now let's go into the view. 35. So 35 looks like it's over there. So let's taxi over there. So let's get on the taxiway, and we'll cross this taxiway. We'll make a right turn. Okay, so I see 35. So we just have to just travel alongside here. I know the landing lights are a little unrealistic, but... Let's see, so... We have to kind of, back taxi onto 35, so... Let's see, so this is 35 here. No, this is 35, but we have to back taxi. Okay, so we got a back taxi to the nearest taxiway. This isn't a very busy airport. It's probably no AI uses it, so that's a good thing. But we do have to back taxi. This is the way to runway 35, right? Let me make sure. Yep, this is runway 35, alright. So, let's go to the end. Actually, we don't really need to go to the end. Let's actually take off from here, because Cessna doesn't need that much runway. If we were flying some sort of Dash 8, we would need that runway. Oh shoot, hold on a second guys, let me just lower the volume a little. Alright guys, I think that's quite enough. I'll just put full thrust. Let me just go into virtual cockpit. Yeah. In reality, this would be cooler, but when you're in a simulator, this is cooler. Just flying the... Well, let me just lower the throttle a tiny bit. We're in the air. Hold on a second. Before we go anywhere, maybe we should check the knee board for information about this airplane. Is it the same thing? Like the maximum cruising speed never exceeds speed is 163 knots, but you're pretty much dead before then. Not dead, but you get it. You get what I mean. Now let me just put the throttle let me just floor the throttle for just a little bit. No. Hold on. Get that camera out of my face. I'm sorry. Where's the heading? I'm sorry, this is unrealistic. Let me see. Heading is too far to the north. I don't want to go too far to the north. Alright, so... We have taken off out of Anderson Regional, and now we need to fly a little bit to the left. Let me see, let me just move the laptop over a little bit, and see where we are at for now, and once we go farther up, you'll see interstate. Let me just turn the volume a little bit down, so that you can hear me better. I don't want to be screaming over this. I think I see the highway. No, I don't. It's past the lake. It's past the lake anyway, because you see the lake here. It's gonna be an interesting entry into Georgia. I hope we are not going too far to the west, because if we're going too far to the west, then there's really no point in, because we won't be crossing Georgia after a while. We'll be in Georgia. Now, you'll know that you're in Georgia when you're crossing over the island. When we're crossing over the island. I see it. Where's my cursor? There it is. You see those white vehicles? You see just past that white line, you see those, like, little speckles moving right here especially. That's pretty obvious that that's Interstate 85. So we need to go follow that. Control tower down there. Not a control tower, but a radio tower. Now, let's go check out inside. I mean, it's just the same tools, except it's just a little more of an advanced monitor. Not advanced, but it's just a little more techy, if you get what I mean. That's a tuner knob, but I want, like, to zoom out this GPS. How do I do that? Maybe it can tell me the estimated time. ETE is 1 hour and a minute. So it looks like this is not going to be too long of a flight into Atlanta, but obviously we have to go through Atlanta, which is going to be a lag fest. And we... Alright, so... I've not been recording for too long, so it didn't take too long to get into the air today. So, let me just lower the throttle and just go a little lower. This is not the, this is not the border. The border is way farther west. So, let's follow the interstate. Alright. So, now that we're on the interstate... Now we're following the interstate. That's a big dip. Just look at that. Look at that big dip in the road. It just looks weird. Now, that can't possibly be the bridge that I was talking about, because it's a fair way away. Like, if I go to look on the map, not on the phone, but on the airplane, you'll notice that it's kind of the mouth here, and at the mouth of the river, like, you don't start getting toward, like, the border until you're, like, around here. So we still got plenty of distance before we make it. So now, let's get to talking about stuff. So I did tell you last episode that there's really no point in bringing those fans onto the show, because, I mean, what, they're just gonna sit around and do nothing and just, like, watch me play, or me and the other fan will be watching the one fan play, and then the other fan will come on. It just seems like a game of, just make sure we're not going over too fast. If we go too fast, the engines will blow. Don't need that to happen. Well, the most that'll happen in this game is that it'll tell you, there'll be an in-game message that the aircraft's overstressed, and it will just reset the game to where we were first parked. But, yeah. So yeah, it just seems like a game of, like, a relay race, and I don't want gaming to be a relay race. I want it to be a fun experience for anyone who likes gaming. But if we have 3 people, 2 fans and 1 gaming YouTuber, me, you really don't... It's not really fun. And I just wish that those fans would realize it soon enough. Okay, I think this is the border, but I don't... Nah, this isn't the border, because there's no island, and this is not a wide... Like, maybe it is. Actually, I think this might be the border here. This is probably the border. Nah, because you get tricked a few times. Anyway, so it's probably not the border yet. Let me just check it out on the map first, and if it is the border, let me see. No... We're still, like, miles from the border so far. We still haven't even gotten... That isn't even, like, a part of the lake that we even need to, that's not even... That's just, like, a spout of the part of the lake that we need to cross over. So, yeah. I don't think we're anywhere near where we have to be. So, yeah, I don't think it's fun to, like, be sharing the same laptop. And, the day that they wanted to come was Friday, and I'm sure they'll be busy that day, because, you know, there's something at the school that I go to that, okay, let me just break the news to you. It's a dance, and it's at the school. And you're probably thinking, Steve Bakari, why are you talking about this? You're talking to people that you probably don't even know. And by the way, most of my fans are school students. I mean, there's probably other fans from around the world, across the country, maybe nearby where we're flying in the simulator now, which is currently Fairplay, South Carolina. If anyone lives in Fairplay, South Carolina, shout out on the comments. I'm sure I still won't get any comments, but, you know, who knows? I might get a comment. Also, please don't take my, like, sarcasm too seriously, like, when I say I don't think anyone's gonna do it, because I tend to see that a lot of popular YouTubers do that. So please don't yell at me when I'm doing it, because YouTubers do it. Don't think just because I'm new that, like, I can't be as good as a YouTuber as a lot of other people. You don't know how good of a YouTuber I could be. Okay, enough talking about that. Let's talk about something cooler. Let's talk about when the heck the sun's gonna come up. Okay, I think this must be the border. This just must absolutely be the border, and we'll know by being able to see one of these roads on that island up there. And if there is a road on that island, let me just pause the game quickly. And this is the lake, so pretty much the last lake that we pass is the last mouth of the lake that we pass is the border into Georgia. Like, you gotta see the design of this lake. It's like, and there's a Lake Kiawe, which is farther up in South Carolina. But yeah, I think you understand. Let me just let go of the stick for a little bit. Alright, let's get back hold of it. And about that dance that you've probably already forgotten about, yeah, I just don't go to it. And, it happens to fall on a recording day, so it's not because that's not the reason why I don't want to go. The reason why I don't want to go is because I just don't want to go. Okay, so this isn't the border. We're still, like, we weren't even in Fairplay. We were just before in Townville. But now we're in Fairplay. Like, literally, that's literally just, like, another mouth of the that's just another mouth of the lake. Not of the river. If I was saying river, please forget what I just said. It's a lake. It's Hartwell Lake that we're flying near. This is Fairplay, South Carolina. So welcome to Fairplay, South Carolina, where we play fairly. Imagine in Fairplay, South Carolina, if you have, like, imagine if Fairplay, South Carolina was, like, the #1 most crimed area on Earth. Imagine that. Well, first of all, they wouldn't have called it Fair Play. But you could say something about this. But I could say something about town. No offense to people who live in or near Fairplay, South Carolina. Or people who have relatives, or people who live or have lived near there, or who've been in this area. I don't know. But I'm gonna say this, and please don't take any offense to it. Well played, South Carolina. It's kind of a little offensive, but it's actually really not. It's just kind of a joke. And the only people who really get offended are people in Fairplay. And, doesn't look like on the map that Fairplay is too big of a town. So, you're probably only looking at, like, 1,000 people. It's probably not even a town. It's just probably an unincorporated place. Okay, so this is the border, guys. This is the border. between South Carolina and Georgia. This so looks like it, because this is like the last part of the lake. This is your last view of Hartwell Lake. But do we, like, still see, like, the sunrise behind us? I gotta see. I don't see it because it, hold on, let me just make sure that we are, like, fly off path. I'm gonna go straight, but I'm gonna make a left, because, we can. Alright, let me just pause the game quickly and, check out the light situation. Light switches. Pitot heat we don't need. That's the yoke, which we're using with the stick right now, so we don't need it. Yes, so you see here, that's the road that I was talking about. That's called the Andrew Pickens Scenic Parkway. I'm sure if the parkway had traffic in it. Okay, so that's the border right here. So I'll tell you when we're in Georgia, according to my map here. I'm gonna cross right here. That's the border, right? Not the border. That's not the border. That's the border. No, this is the border. I don't know what the border is. I don't care. No, it's probably here. Okay, let's just cross. Welcome to Georgia. I know how funny that sounds. I mean, how, like, weird that just sounds, but whatever. We're gonna be coming up to Livonia, Georgia pretty soon. And I do apologize if I make it sound boring by, like, just announcing towns. Okay, let's talk about something else. So, yeah. So, speaking of that thing on Friday, and, Friday is when I'm gonna be uploading another episode of, well, probably Saturday night it'll be, or Friday night, or Saturday morning, or Saturday at, like, 3 a.m. my time, Eastern time. By the time I, like, get the episode up, I'm not gonna get the episode up at 3 a.m. The episode's gonna be uploaded after I record it, no later than, like, 7:30 at night. And, if it takes a really long time to get the video loaded up, then it takes a long time. But last time I did an upload of City Skylines, it actually took, like, not much longer than an hour, so probably it'll be Friday night, but it could end up, like, I'm not gonna get it uploaded at 3 a.m. If it uploads at 3 a.m., that's what happens. But I'm not gonna be pressing the button at 3 a.m. I do it automatically. Like, I record the episode, I type in the description for the episode, I click publish when finished uploading, and that's it. Not much easier than that. We'll be in Atlanta soon, guys, so let's see. We haven't done a time check yet. It's gonna take a lot of getting used to this map. This map's gonna take a lot to get used to. Where's the clock? Like, I don't see a single clock in this entire thing. I'm just gonna have to just click this button in order to see the clock. I swear. Unless I go like this. Maybe that works. No. This has been a complete mistake picking this aircraft to fly in. I swear. That was a big mistake to pick this aircraft to fly in. So I hope you enjoyed Saturday's OMSI video. There's a tower right there. We're in Livonia, Georgia. Anyone live here? I don't know. I don't live here. I live back in Connecticut where we started. Now, just because... Oh, no. Take that off. That just creates lag, and that'll make the game lag. I don't want that to happen. Just because we're traveling in a different paint does not mean that we're flying a totally different plane. Just pretend that before the beginning of last episode, that night we got the plane painted, and I didn't realize it until the morning. Just pretend that, because that could have happened. We could have asked the people at Huntersville, North Carolina, to come and repaint the plane just because we wanted it repainted. But yeah, I think we have to go back to the normal plane, because this is just a nightmare of controls. I'm having a hard time being able to understand half of it. And the thing about, like, truck drivers just driving through here is that they literally, like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of these truck drivers are going to be going through Atlanta, unless they're delivering to one of these cities in Georgia. Well, I know that these truck drivers aren't real-life truck drivers, but yeah. In real life, I'm sure that on 85, that a lot of those trucks are going to Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta is probably only like 50 miles from where we currently are in the game. And, just makes sense, doesn't it? And I'm sure it does. Anyway, we have more to talk about. We have to talk about, well, if Friday is City Skylines, what's gonna be on Sunday? And it's probably gonna be more City Skylines, if it doesn't cause a royal pain on Friday. Because if it causes a royal pain on Friday, I'm just gonna be like, aw, heck, we're just gonna do some more American Truck Sim. And, I did forget to do some more, to test out AMC Vienna map. I was a little too busy, yesterday. I was literally out from, like, 11 o'clock until, like, 6. Hold on a second. This is an airport. This could give us a clue on where we are. Exactly where we are. You don't really get that too often in the game. Let me see. First of all, because, you know, that might not be the case. It just might be just some... It doesn't even look like a, nearest tower. I don't want to do that because it's going to cause the game to lag. Let me see. If I click on that... Well, the sun is coming up, I can admit that. How about this one? That one's too far away. That's probably over those lights. How about 18A? 18A is that one over there. 33E3. Yeah, let me see. Let me just unpause. Yeah, this is 33E. This is an airport. Don't know what airport it is. Don't care what airport it is. Okay, no offense to people living here. Probably don't have any fans from here, but if there are fans from here, just make sure to just tell us about the area if you want. Not like your I don't want your personal details or anything. I just want to know like what your town is and all that. Like, pretty much any town. Like if you're watching this and you're like, and if I went through like a town already that you that we've already been through and I haven't told you this, but if I go through a town, then you live there. And it's not like Atlanta or Shreveport. And we will be passing through Shreveport. Probably like 6 episodes from... Maybe not 6 episodes. Probably like 4 to 6 episodes from now. So that's going to be in like a month before we pass through Shreveport. Shreveport's in Louisiana. I don't know, because we still have to leave Georgia in the next episode, which probably won't be for another week or two, and enter Alabama. Then we've got Mississippi, and then comes Louisiana, and Louisiana is bigger than you think. I've never been to Louisiana, or Alabama, or Georgia. Well, when driving to Florida, yeah, but I've never been to, like, this part of Georgia. Ooh, look what just happened. We don't have the lights anymore. For some reason, like, the time clicked. I just so wish I could just check the time. Let's just check the time this way. Via the map. The map will tell us. The map doesn't tell you. I forgot, right. The map doesn't tell you. You have to go like this. Then you have to click View Flight Analysis. Then it'll tell you. See, 6:49. And then you click Cancel, and then you click Continue Flying. Don't click End Flight. If you click End Flight, that's worse than clicking... That's worse than you crashing your game, because if you click End Flight, if you click End Flight, You just basically cancel your flight. I don't know why, but the frame rate just, like, kicked on a lot right now. It's just really weird, like, it just, like, kicked on, like, there's, like, the frame rate just seems, like, 10 times clearer than it just was 20 seconds ago. And I think it's because of there are, like, now more lights. And I'm sure that in real life, if I was actually flying over this road, and all the cars saw the light that I was projecting onto this road, they'd be like, whoa, that's so amazing! And especially since it's 6:50 in the morning, that pilot really decided to pick this time to go flying over an interstate. Because let's face it, let's face it, if there are any, private pilot fans watching this, have you ever gone flying early in the morning for fun? I'm sure there are private pilots that go flying at like 5 a.m. just for show. I want to know if there's any like, why do you do it besides the fact that there's less air traffic? Which pretty much in this area, there's actually probably more air traffic. Maybe not in this area, but in this, like, state. In this part of the country, like in the eastern coast, there's probably more air traffic because there's, like, planes going to Los Angeles so that they can arrive early in the morning. Maybe not early in the morning, actually, because a plane going from... Because when you fly from New York to Salt Lake City, like I did, you're flying for 4 hours. No, you're not flying for 4 hours, you're flying for... Let me just count them. It might be 4 hours, but let me count. I'm sorry that I'm doing this to you guys. So it was 11, 12, 1, 2... For 4 hours, yeah, but we took off at 9:45 p.m. Eastern time, and we got there Mountain Time 12:30 a.m. So even though the time zones made it feel like it was only a 2.5 hour flight, it was really a 4.5 hour flight, and it was supposed to be a 5.5 hour. It was supposed to be a 5 hour flight, but a 5.5 hour flight, but the plane got delayed nearly an hour. Because, it was Friday night, people had to get to the airport, like me, at 7:30, and I tried getting there at 7 o'clock, but 7 p.m., by the way, not 7 a.m. 7 a.m. it'd probably be worse. Nah, it'd probably be worse at 7 p.m. than 7 a.m. But, yeah, literally, it was only supposed to be like 45 minutes. It took double the time to get there. Double the time to get to the airport. And, I'm pretty sure that, and since it was Friday night, you can assume that a lot of people were nearly missing their flights. Probably flights got delayed, and when flights get delayed, the airports waste money. And yes, I just rubbed my fingers together when I said money. And now my class is just laughing crazy right now. If any of my classmates are watching this, mostly if girls are watching this, which, the girls in my class are watching this, which they're probably not. Okay, let's stop talking about that, and let's start. Sorry, I just banged against the back of the front of the chair. Let's just... I know, I just give too much information about my class. In class, I'm sorry, but... sometimes I'm sure you classmates have talked about me. Okay, let's stop talking about the classmates. Let's start talking to all viewers from my school, or if they live across the country in California or Oregon or Washington State. I'm sorry I even got off topic. So, speaking of off topic, my navigation is off. And you might be asking, Bakari, why? And I'm gonna tell you why. Well, first of all, I can't not zoom out of this GPS. Oh, speaking of GPS, let me see. Ugh, this is just being insane. Hold on a second. Pause game. I was just pausing the game and now I don't know what I want to pause for. So I'm just gonna keep flying. I don't want to crash into a tree, so let's fly more central. Alright, I wanted to look at the map, but I don't know what to do. We're still far away from Atlanta. We're 700, there's no way we're 738 nautical miles. 737 nautical miles? There's no way we're 730, well, we possibly could be. Why is that 40 just looks really weird? Looks like it says 49, but it actually says 40, because it wouldn't be changing from 49 to 39, just like, and you saw, I mean, they don't have any, like, waypoint. Oh, here it is. Distance. Oh, it probably said 73.7, but it says 65.3. I don't understand why. It just does. Wish that it, like, tracked, like, your distance between, like, for example, I just wish that, like, if it tracked you going along, like, I wish it, like, tracked interstates. I mean, if you're seeing interstates here, you should be seeing them everywhere, but, they should be, like, tracking interstates. So, like, for example, if you follow the interstate for at least 20 nautical miles, it should just, like, assume that that's your flight plan, and it should. But obviously, I'm probably one of the only people that just, like, follow highways for miles and miles and miles. I'm sure there are other people who do it, but I'm sure that I've never seen or known anyone who does it. Probably the only people that do it are like people like me who just want to just fly along the interstate for miles instead of just, like, taking the most direct route. You're probably thinking, why do you not pick the most direct route? And, you know, sometimes I just like looking at the highway and, like, if you were taking a real trip, you're either taking a jet plane or you're driving. Not many people have a private pilot's license. Game unfreeze, thank you. Oh, right, that's what I want to look at. I want to look at nearby airports. No offense to people who live near any of these airports. Jackson Co., well, Hartsfield Jackson. That's not funny at all. Or, like, Fly North South Ranch. Athens, Georgia is a town. In the Travelocity commercial, and credits because it's a Travelocity commercial, so I just don't want to plagiarize. You want a trip to Athens, Greece. You accidentally booked a flight to Athens, Georgia. Now, what I don't get is why you'd book a flight to Athens, Georgia when Athens, Georgia is just a municipal airport, but that's just the Travelocity commercial. Takao Litharnia. That's just funny to pronounce, not like funny. Same with this one. Ebenezer. Gwinnett. Not funny. Paradise Falls. That sounds like an interesting place to go on vacation. And just airy. Atlanta Center. Maybe we should request our flight following. Now we have to acknowledge the radar contact as soon as they turn that off. As soon as the announcement ends. You could literally just hear me shifting my elbow on the desk while I was like, ugh. I just needed to press that button before the ATC automatically announced back. Hold on. This junction could give a clue on where we are. This looks awkward. Like an awkward one. I don't see any junctions nearby. I mean, far enough away from Atlanta, and we need to be near Atlanta. So let me see. We're still pretty far. Don't want to waste too much time just like looking at the map. Okay, I think we found out where we are. We're still in Livonia. Please don't tell me we're still in Livonia. We can't be, because we just passed through there like 10 minutes ago. No way, we're probably somewhere else, and I'm not in the mood to find out. So we're just gonna keep flying. Oh, I see where we are. We're in Commerce, Georgia. Coming up on Jefferson, Georgia. And as we just continue to fly over the Interstate 85 in Georgia. I just wonder if we can see the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport from here. Probably can't, because of alphabetical order. Hartsfield-Jackson is Kilo Alpha Tango Lima, and the nearest airport I'm getting is Kilo Alpha Hotel November and Kilo Golf Victor Lima. So that's failed. Now let me just let go of the stick, the joystick. Now I'm holding back on it. So we still got a long, and 10,000 more long ways until we get to Atlanta. And you're probably thinking to yourself, 57 nautical miles doesn't seem too far. And believe me, at the speed we're going, it's gonna feel like forever. In a car, it'd take about an hour to fly. An hour. And we're gonna fly that route in half an hour. Because we're going 120 miles an hour. Right? How fast are we going? 101 knots? 104? Let me see. GPS. 96 knots, 97, 98. So pretty much 100 knots. So that's pretty much like 115 miles an hour, maybe 120. So it looks like we'll be going pretty much fast the rest of the way. Let me just let go of the joystick and see how long I've been recording. I'm recording for about 45 minutes, which is good. Making good time here. As you can tell, the sky is beginning to grow a little bit brighter, which always excites you when you're like on a road trip and you're trying to drive like early in the morning before daylight approaches. And well, this only happened to be once during Florida, and yeah, you love enjoying that sunrise. And I was actually in South Carolina when the sunrise started, and wasn't any different than really much other sunrises. And you know, sunrises, they begin your day. I've just been hating recording at the same time every day, because some days over the summer I'd be recording at 8 a.m., some days I'd be recording after lunch, some days I'd be recording before lunch, some days I'd be recording at 3 o'clock, some days I'd be recording before 7, some days I'd be recording before 8, but not before 6. One or two days I was recording at like before 6. But now, if I was to record before 6, I'll be late for the bus. Unless I didn't eat breakfast in the morning. But remember, breakfast in the morning gives you fuel for the day, because you're not eating another meal for another 4.5 hours. So I think you want to eat something before. For me, I always have to eat breakfast at like, forget it, let me just deal with this first. And then, don't worry, I'll get back to the topic. Alright. More airports that we want to see. Kintail Farm. Weird but not funny. Mathis. That's a mouthful. Mathis. No offense to people living there. Sleepy Hollow. Lenora. Sunset Strip. That's ironic. Hashtag when you're learning about irony in school. And we're flying during sunrise and we see sunset. And we see Sunset Field. Okay, let's get back to this. Whispering Pines. That's also ironic because, well, it's not actually ironic. That's actually coincidental because this is whispering in our face right now. Okay, let's stop talking about irony. Let's get back to what interests you, because all my classmates are being like, oh, why are you talking about this now? And I'm just gonna say, you'll see. And you know, just to make you interested, like, I'm sure you, like, want to hear about it, and if you don't want, and if you're, like, in my class and you don't want to hear about it, you're still, like, that's so hilarious, because, you know, everyone laughs. I did tell you everyone laughs, right? Yeah, in my very first episode, when I was, like, the most timid YouTuber ever. For a couple of weeks. Then eventually got the hang of it. I got more confident of recording and all that, and the process of talking. I got more used to it, and now I'm at the YouTuber, which you know today. I would be, like, so embarrassed if I went back and watched my old episodes. I actually did, like, a pretty good job on my first episode. I mean, the second episode, I think, was just great. First episode was a little okay, but let's look at where that airport is. The only reason why I like those views is because they force the game to put you in a, in that view sometimes, and you'll be able to see, like, the interior of your Cessna. It's just cool. Now let me just add a little more throttle, just so that we can go 5 knots faster. You're probably thinking, see the car, let's say to do nothing. But don't worry, when we still have 47 nautical miles, which is probably like about 43 statute miles, which for all my classmates who are like, what the heck is statute miles, basically just means the miles that you use for, like, driving. That's pretty good. I mean, it's gonna make a difference. Like, if we were only traveling like another mile, like a mile's probably the distance from our plane right now to, like, over there. Maybe not over there, maybe to, like, to there, like, right past that house. And it makes a difference because if you're traveling 5 miles an hour faster, so if you travel 5 miles an hour faster and you're going 5 miles, if you're going 45 miles an hour and you're going 5 miles, hold on a second. Let me do an easier one because, you know, it's easier if I don't want to, like, do problems that I need, like, paper and pencil to do right now. Because I don't have paper and pencil, and I'm in the middle of trying to get this plane safely to Atlanta, so I don't really have time to, like, surf through. I could probably do the problem in my head, but I would do it some days, but just today, I just want to make it simple for you guys. It's not because I don't want to do it. It's not because I don't want to do it. It's just because I don't need to, I just don't want to, like, confuse half my classmates. But yeah. Okay, good, we passed straight over that control tower. For now, everyone who uses that control tower for, like, a radio station is gonna get, like, a tiny little buzz. It's gonna be like, okay, that was not any song at all, but I was just doing some random humming. So, like, when I pass over the control tower, when I pass over the radio tower, anyone listening to that station is just gonna be like, they're just not gonna be able to listen, because I just passed over it, breaking the signal for, like, 2 seconds, and they just heard static for 2 seconds because I passed over the radio station. I don't know if that happened or not. I can guess that that's what happened. Also, what was I talking about? Oh, right, I need to tell you. So, for example, if you're going, let's use an easy number, like 20 miles an hour. I'd use 50 miles an hour, but I don't need to right now because, you know, this is YouTube, and I don't want to annoy any of my viewers. And why does it sound like them? We're just going really slow. Before I say anything else, we're going 104 knots, so it's just probably an illusion. Not an illusion. Ear illusion. Anyway, so yeah, let's pretend you're going 20 miles an hour and you need to travel 5 miles. 20 miles an hour, 5 miles, it's gonna take you 15 minutes to go 5 miles. But if you go 25 miles an hour for 5 miles, it's only gonna take you, like, it's gonna cut down pretty good. Nah, let me use a bigger number. Let's say we're going 100 miles an hour, which you would never go unless you're in, like, an aircraft. 100 miles an hour, and, you're going 5 miles. At 100 miles an hour, 5 miles is only gonna take you about, let's see, so you're going 100 miles an hour in 60 seconds. No, in 60 minutes. So that's about 20 miles in every 10. So that's about 20 miles every 15 miles every 20 minutes. Every 10 minutes. So 5 miles is only going to take you a minute. No, that can't be 5 miles. No. Okay, let's use an easy number, like 120 is an easy number, because 2 miles a minute. 120 miles an hour, you're going 2 miles a minute. So, it's only going to take 2.5 minutes to go 5 miles. 125, it's not going to take you 2.5 minutes. It might take you 2 and 2/6 of a minute. Or something like that. Or I don't know. But it takes seconds off. Seconds that I do not want to... Extra seconds that I do not want to spend sitting here after a day at school. After a day at school, it seems a little, like... Because then I go... Like, recording's never really a problem after school, but... Just... Once you finish your homework, you go upstairs, record an episode, come down, it's already like 6:30, you still haven't had any free time to yourself, then you only have, what? You only have about 3 hours of free time, whereas on a normal school day without recording, you have at least 4 or 5 hours of free time. And like tomorrow, I'll have 5 hours of free time. But today, I'm only, well, actually I won't, I'll have like 4 hours. But whatever. But today, I only have 3 hours of free time. Which is coincidental, since because every other night, I need to spend 30 extra minutes before I go to bed doing something. It's not homework or anything, it's just something that I don't want to talk to you guys about, because that's way past personal business. Well, it's not personal, but it's not like personal, like gossip or anything. It could become gossip if my classmates get a hand on it. A handle on it would be more of a literal term, but it's not literal at all. But, let's just check the time. We have to pause the game because we don't have the right plane. And we have to go into view flight analysis, see what time it is. 7:14 game time. Then you have to click cancel and continue flying, and then you're back in the air. It's only just a simple little pause the game, load the scenery back, but we ain't gonna be able to do that once we get into Atlanta, because that means the game has to literally, like, seize your eyes. Seize your eyes, not a real word. It's not a real word. But if it was, that would be what it is. That'd be what it means. To, like, the white screen turns into this. I don't know why it turns white. It turns white because it, like, unloads the game and then it just reloads it. Meanwhile, the game right now is just loading sectors as we go that need to be loaded. Just wondering, like, when we're gonna, like, get back to, the main highway, when we get toward Atlanta. You'll know when we get toward Atlanta because Interstate 985 is gonna come in, and it's gonna merge in. I think I think it's gonna merge in there. So we're coming up on Atlanta, guys. I could give a view of the left wing, but if you see that tiny bit of grayish blue, that's Lake Sidney Lanier, or whatever. Oh, no, I don't live in Georgia. But if anyone lives near Atlanta and watches my videos, don't take any offense to that. I'm not from the area. And comment below on, like, and comment below and tell me, like, don't tell me, like, what life is like living there. Just tell me, like, maybe what Atlanta's famous for. I think I know what Atlanta's famous for, but I'm not exactly sure. I think Atlanta's famous for, well, first of all, the most, okay, sorry, I'm just talking a little too fast. This is just normal for me, I'm sorry. Alright, what was I gonna do? What was I gonna say? Oh, right. Like, what is Atlanta famous for? What is Charlotte famous for? I know what Gettysburg is famous for. Gettysburg is famous for, like, the battle that happened in, like, 1700s. Haven't learned about it, though. I might have, but I think I'm gonna get, like, re-taught about that. I think it was 1800s. Yeah, it was, like, 1830. Was the War of 1812 in Gettysburg? When I learn about that in social studies, I'll tell you right away. Or you probably know. But don't comment below, because I want to find out for myself. Well, you could comment below, actually. Comment below if you, there's probably going to be no comments anyway. Everyone's just going to be, because all my classmates are just going to be like, duh. Well, okay, no offense to the classmates. But they probably won't know. Well, they might know. I mean, the history nerds. No offense to history nerds out there. But they'll probably know about, I know, I'm always just saying no offense to this place, no offense to that place. Okay, so now that they're now at 985 merge, welcome to the, Swainee. It's spelled S-U-W-A-N-E-E. So, Swain? If you live near Atlanta, I'm sure you know. Coming up to Duluth, and then Norcross. These are all suburbs. I don't have him in sight. Great. We gotta wait until this long message is over. Don't worry, let's just hold it down. Equalizer. Contact Atlanta Tower on 119.1. There. Okay, well, first of all, since the plane is, how high? It's at 737 at 5,300 feet. So, pretty much, so currently we're in the Atlanta suburbs. You probably have heard me say that, but you know, I tend to repeat myself very often. I'm sorry. Don't stop watching my videos because of it. I'm apologizing in advance for you guys. Look at those just 4 cars tailgating each other. If I were you, I would probably brake test the other 3 cars. And, it might cause an accident. It might not. It probably would. Because as soon as you slam on the brakes, you're already going slower than the people in front of you. And, bam, you are rear-ended. And it causes a 4-car... And it causes a 7-car pileup. So, not the smartest move. The smartest move would not be to slow down, but to actually speed up. For my family, they're going to want to slow down. They're going to slam on their brakes, and they won't care about their damaged car. They're going to just want to get out of there. Okay, enough bad-mouthing my family. So, as you can notice, the lanes are becoming 3. You see 1 car's there, 1 car's there, 1 car's there. It looks weird. And why was that green car in the left lane going slower than the white car in the middle lane? That's a little weird, considering... Okay, well, now it's probably like 7:25 game time. Probably 7:20 game time. Let's see how far we are from where we need to be. We are currently... Wait, I don't understand this, really. This is 8.62 nautical miles, but that's not actually right. What that actually means is that's just like, some sort of, that's XTK. That's not how many miles we have left. The miles we have left is here. We got 27 miles. Let me get back to this view. So this is the, this is where Georgia Route 316 merges in with Interstate 85 in Lilburn, Georgia, which is another suburb. Lilburn is actually over there. Okay, let's stop pointing at stuff because we want to fly above the air. Let's see, is it already on let me see nearest airport list. Is it here? We'll look at nearby airport. DeKalb Peachtree, Light World. Lola Landing. We saw Laura's Landing, now this is Lola Landing. Chikar Farm, interesting. No offense to people living near any of these things. Sunset Strip, again. Pegasus Run. Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta. So pretty much right now, let me just pause. We can fly straight to Hartsfield, Jackson, but let me just see, how do we get there? We should just follow Interstate 85 but it's gonna ask us to it's gonna try to vector us in, so maybe it'd be smart to just follow 85 into Atlanta first and then ask it to vector us in when we're in the heart of Atlanta. So yeah, I think it'd be smart to just wait because Interstate 85 is gonna take us straight to Hartsfield, Jackson anyway, so why don't we just follow 85? I don't want to just, divert from this highway, because we're coming up to Atlanta, so I don't want us to, announce the intentions yet, that I want to land in Hartsfield, Jackson. When we start going through, the heart of Atlanta, and we start going into Lag Central, maybe then we can find out which runway you're landing in, but, it's gonna ask us to, it's probably gonna ask us to, make a 360, or, maybe not a 360, that's in the game that I play. Let me think, what is that? What is that called? Okay, enough with the Actually, let me just continue the because it'll keep you, wanting to watch more. I'm just afraid, the reason why I just talk the entire episode is because I'm just afraid that, you guys aren't gonna want to watch my video if I stop talking for more than 30 seconds at a time. I mean, I tried it with my 5th video, Map Tours Episode 5. I tried, not talking for, the entire episode. And I actually, gossiped more about my classmates in those episodes. But, okay, I didn't gossip, but I gave away information, It's just human nature just to talk about people you know while you're gaming. I don't know other YouTube gamers who like do this, but I do it, and that makes me a unique YouTuber. Literally, we have to fly straight through the heart of Atlanta, and we're not even there. Just see those buildings all the way over there. It means we're near, but we still have 20 miles, nautical miles, before we reach there. A nautical mile is not the same as 2 miles, so... Okay, so we should be coming up on the 285 belt route, which we're not going to follow because we want to head into the heart of Atlanta, and we're not going to get to the heart of anything until... So yeah, you can already tell that we're entering Lag Central, and we're not even in the heart of Atlanta. Imagine that. We haven't even crossed the border of... So yeah, I don't know if I told you this about cities, but I think I know. I think I researched why highways build like beltways just all over the highways. So this happens in London especially. They call it the what do they call it? Let me go look that up. I mean, I'm on a map, for heaven's sake. Might as well go into London and find out. Great, I don't even have any cellular service because the Wi-Fi sucks where I live, so I have to use this. Let me pause the game so that I can look without, like, crashing the plane anywhere. Here. No, let's put the pin in here. That's the wrong highway, that's M26. Wait. M25 is here. Because M25 is the, what is it? There's no info at all. But I know it's a very famous, maybe not famous, but it's like a motorway, like rounding motorway. I don't know, I don't care. Back to the map in Atlanta. There we go. Okay, so we're here in Atlanta. I need to keep a very good eye for all these highways that we're going to be coming up through. So, you know, I've never even, like, driven through Atlanta. So, I've never even, like, flown over it or into it. So, notice the traffic just intensifying down there. That's a weird truck. I've never seen that truck spawn before. Okay, so this is the 285, the Beltway. I have the traffic, wow, this intersection is, like, genius. Well, if it weren't for, like, the cars just, like, going through them, because, like, this game is, like, no concept of, like, the highways going over and under each other, so they just, like, cross over other highways. So that's the Beltway, that's the insane Beltway. The road through should have less traffic on it. Alright, so what is it called? Northeast Expressway is Interstate 85 currently when we go through Atlanta. You can already tell that we're in Lag Central, and the only reason why I say we're in Lag Central, and it doesn't even look like this is not even like, because forget about it, when we're going through Los Angeles, please, it's probably gonna take like weeks, which is gonna delay the end of this series. Just gonna probably take like weeks just to find our way to just to find a setting which is good enough to make sure that I don't crash, so that the game doesn't crash when I'm trying to take off out of El Monte, which in Los Angeles pretty much. So you can see a couple of those buildings. I just wish that, like, there were, like, fans in Atlanta which would, see this and, you know. Just fans in Atlanta who, like, watch my videos and they live in Atlanta. They could just tell me, like, what is that building? What's that building? What's that building? What's that building? Okay, well, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you if I couldn't even like tell you most of the buildings in New York. Well, I could tell you a few, like Empire State Building. I could probably tell you Freedom Towers. I could probably tell you. First of all, finding the Freedom Towers is gonna be a piece of cake. Would be a piece of cake in New York, and wait, what was I gonna say? I often forget what I'm trying to say. Surprisingly, there's like, in real life, if you were to be traveling over Atlanta at 7:30 in the morning, you would like see, like this, like both of these roads would just be gridlock. Especially Atlanta. Atlanta's a pretty big city. I'm sure I don't even need to live within an 800-mile radius from Atlanta in order to know. An 800-mile radius tells you how far we have traveled. Okay, maybe not 800 radius. Okay, maybe that's 600 miles. Okay, well, I'm about 800 miles away. I mean, we've been traveling. Well, we're less than that, actually. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let's get back on topic. I don't need to live in a 500-mile radius. Let's just say that just to be safe. I don't need to live in a 100-mile in a 500-mile radius of Atlanta in order to be. So this is where Interstate 75, which will go into western Florida, and Interstate 85 merge. I'm looking at the traffic setting on my map on my phone, and like this is like a gridlock situation, even in the opposite rush hour. But this is the morning rush we're driving through. So yeah, those are some buildings over there. I'm pretty sure if I lived in Atlanta, I would just be able to be like, oh well, that's the blank building. That looks like a real outlier compared to like all these other buildings. And look at that. That kind of looks like an opera house. I don't know why I say that. It looks more like a planetarium of some sort. Science museum. Wait, maybe I don't think that. No, hold on. That was the junction of Georgia 400. That was the junction of Georgia 400, by the way. That was not this. This is the junction of Interstate 75 and Interstate 85, which is just a complete gridlock on this map here. A gridlock. Like on both sides of the highway. The only place that doesn't have too bad of a gridlock is getting off onto US 19. And I wasn't holding on to the joystick since I was talking about I meant this. So this is Interstate 75 and Interstate 85 merge, and this is just like a mess right now, considering it's like afternoon rush hour when I'm playing, but in game time this is morning rush hour. Which highway do I follow? I just probably follow this. Okay, we're in Atlanta, meaning this is Lag Central. Just look at that mess of trucks and cars. Now, in reality, you would not be seeing, like, that many trucks. You might probably be seeing about, like, maybe like half those trucks. Maybe about half the amount of trucks that you see there. Maybe even a third of the trucks. A half to a third of the trucks. Oh, never mind. That looks more like some sort of some closed-top stadium. But if I lived in Atlanta, I would be able to tell which building that was. But I live near New York. I don't even live in New York. So what am I talking about? Now this highway doesn't go through the buildings, which is good. This is just literally like everyone who wants to travel from Interstate 85 locations to Interstate 75 locations. So like, if you want to fly from Anderson, South Carolina, which is where we just flew, to like Florida on like a road and to drive to Florida from there. And anyone who wants to travel from, let me see. And all people who want to drive from, like, I see Chattanooga on my map is up 75. It would just be all that traffic from between Chattanooga and Charlotte, all that traffic is being merged into this one road. So you can infer this is just going to be one big mess. In reality, we would be like zipping by this traffic, and we're going 100 miles an hour. We're going over 100 miles an hour, which isn't really that fast if you like depended on aviation. But see, that game just freaked out. This is just a complete mess right here. This is the junction between Interstate 20 and Interstate 85 and 75. And yeah, this is just both directions of Interstate 20, which you can also access from the Belt Route, which is also meeting up with both Interstate 75 and 85, which is this way. And it just turns into a huge mess of traffic, especially on a Tuesday morning. And even if you were to play this in a night scenario, you'd still see that, but whatever. This is Interstate 20, so this is just one huge mess. This is just because, like, this game has no concept of, like, highways going over other highways, so there's just, like, this huge mess that you'll see. But in reality, you'd just be seeing, like, highway over highway. Yeah, you see there's a stadium. And, let me just pause the game and go into, right view. Let's actually go a little further up, and then I can show you. Alright, let's pause it here, and go back into right wing. Farther. Let's just go a little bit farther. It's a baseball stadium, I can tell, because I saw the plate diamond. Let me check on my map. It's called Turner Field. I'm not going to ask Siri about who plays at Turner Field, but and I'm not going to explain it to you. So now all of a sudden, this is just like kind of like a cool down because some traffic went to Interstate 20, probably a lot of it, because Interstate 20 goes cross country. And in the next episode of Cross Country Flight, we're going to be taking Interstate 20 west. And you know, since we're traveling through the city, it kind of looks like we're moving faster, but we're actually moving like not much faster or slower, if not the same, pretty much the same speed that we've been traveling for the last hour. Yeah, so maybe we should like tell them, hey, we wanna hold on. Click that and then click nearest airport list. And then we can click Hartsfield Jackson, Atlanta. Perfect. To Atlanta Tower. And then I want a full stop landing. This is Georgia 66. Georgia 166. Wait. Hold on, pause. This is no, this is not Georgia. This is Interstate 20. No, this isn't Interstate 20. This is Georgia 166 merging in. Hold on a second. This is confusing. No, just, you know what? Since let me see first of all. Let me just see where we are on this map. Nah, hold on a second. That sucks. There are too many nearby airports that we like can't tell. Oh well, we'll just have to like. Yeah, it's now another mess. Because this is where, and this is a busy airport, so you kind of need to, like, this is like 7, now 85 just continues in this direction. There it is, but I just wish I could find out where the runway is, so, like, let me just first see if I can kind of find the, like, this is just a complete shame. I'm just gonna have to lower our speed eventually. Like, at the last minute, I'm just gonna have to lower speed. Okay, so let's just say goodbye to Interstate 75 or 85, I don't care what that is. It's probably the Interstate 75 that we followed, but whatever. Yeah, it was probably a 75 that we followed. So now I just need to figure out if we can still view, like, the runways. No, we can't because it's too far down the list, so what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do a transition. Not a transition. Well, first of all, runway 26 is going to be a westerly direction, so let me see if on my satellite map of this, it's not going to work. Nah, it's going to work it out. I'm sorry, come on, tell me what it says in these runways. What is that? Is that 26 left? That's 26 left. I'm cleared for 26 right. So I need to land in 26 right, which is obviously next to 261. I mean left. 261. There's no such thing as 261. So this is obviously the runway that we need to land on. So let's lower our speed and we'll make a sort of a last minute landing. Let me just make sure that we're not gonna like fall below, like, you know what, let's just at least, like, put up a little speed, and we can just kind of, like, lower the throttle, like, oh, no, and let's land. This is 26 left, but I want 26 right. Oh, well, I'm not in the mood to change to 26 right. We'll land in 26 left. There's not much difference, and I know this is, like, kind of a little, like, risky to do, but that's actually just our shadow. That's not anything weird. Now, since this is lag central, I'm afraid that, like, let me just pause. Okay, that's horrible landing, but anything that gets me on the ground is good enough, because this is lag central, and I can't really, like, the game doesn't really work so well, so, you know what, anything that gets me on the ground is just good enough. I don't care if I land really bad. Yeah, I see. We totally aced that landing. Dixie. Oh, and we're taxiing via Dixie. I wonder why they do that. Hartsfield Jackson airport enthusiasts and employees, if any of them are watching this video, tell me what that is, what that means even. I know that we're following Dixie, but why does it not seem like we're following Dixie? Maybe I should just follow the sign. I think it's just gonna be like 10 times easier if we we need to go down Dixie the opposite way. I just love how the pilot's head just moved. Wow, there just goes a plane. Don't see that often, but Dixie also goes the opposite way. Last time we were at an airport where there were like planes on the run. But I just don't know why it says Dixie on there. Dixie. I just crossed the runway. See? I rarely ever trust the, what runway? Oh, this runway. I didn't mean what runway, I more meant, like, where is the plane? I'm sorry, guys. It's obviously not there. I don't see any plane. I'm flooring it. Alright, we're across very safely. I'm sorry, in real life you'd have to listen to the ATC, but you can never always trust the ATC in this game. So sometimes you just have to kind of take risks. What traffic? If I don't see any traffic, because this game just like, literally if like a traffic is like 200 feet away, it'll ask you to hold position even. See? Like, what the heck? You just asked me to hold short. Oh, no. Calm down. Another plane getting directed via Dixie, which is good enough because we're down south. I don't know if there are any other like alright, now we need to just kind of make a sharp turn onto this park taxiway. And we're pretty much at the gate. Pretty much at the gate now, so it doesn't really matter how we park. We don't need to be experts. I mean, I'm sure not many Cessnas ever like you know, I hope you understand. There's the tower over there. Stop. Cool. So now I need to see how the heck you turn this plane off. I'm probably not going to be able to turn it off because like, let me just see if I can for a few seconds, and if I can't, I just won't. That's just really bizarre. Ah, we need a parking brake. This thing isn't staying. Wish I had a parking brake, but oh well. Just gonna have to stay. If it doesn't stay... See, so here are our light switches. Ah, here it is. You just turn off the engine like this. Ah, you can't turn it off. But you can turn it off. Never mind. It just takes a while. And then just turn off everything. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. There. Ah. Yeah, no. Yeah, work. Come on. Yeah. No. Why is that sound giving me an eerie feeling? Okay, well, I just totally give up. Let me just make sure that we didn't, like, fly away. Alright, well, let me just give you a nice view of the plane. Well, that's all for this very episode of the, let me just give you a nice straight view so that you guys kind of, like, see the airport in front of us. But yeah, that's all for this episode of Cross Country Flight. You can see the trucks and cars from all the way over there. And you can see, like, places. Anyway, that's all for this episode. In the next episode of Cross Country Flight, we're gonna head west. We're probably gonna make it into Alabama by the end of the next episode. But, yeah, and then we gotta go through Alabama, Mississippi, because we have that leg, and I'm just gonna be picking airports near the highway until, like, we, until we make it into LA. I'm just gonna pick airports near the highway, so that's probably, like, another, like, 2-3 months worth of episodes right there. So that's gonna be fun. But, anyway, that's pretty much all. Tomorrow, Wednesday's gonna be American Truck Sim. And, that's pretty much it. So, let's click escape. And, check the time. And I'll write it down in the book. I mean, in the notes section. So, it says 7:44:19. Okay, so that's what I'll use next time. So I've just recorded that down. We'll continue flying for now, and I'll X out later. But I just want to see one last view of Atlanta. We'll get another view of Atlanta when we play next time. But just I want to show you one more last view for now, because we probably won't have another episode for another week or two. So, hope you enjoy this episode. We can unplug the joystick now. And, I'll see you Wednesday for American Truck Sim. Or I might do City Skylines Wednesday, but we'll see. But anyway, that's all. I might not have an episode Wednesday. I might just, do Friday American Truck Sim and then Sunday do City Skylines. But whatever, we'll see, and I'll see you Wednesday or Friday.